Kia ora to all my friends in New Zealand, and thank you so much, Doc Edge, for showing my film at the festival. I would love to be there in person, but as you know, Corona doesn't allow this year, and I'm actually here in Germany because that's where I was when the cinema tour was kind of halted, and I'm stuck here until further notice, so to speak. So I have a couple of questions here, and of course I'm also on social media. Cryptopia Film is all over the place. We're pretty active on all the channels, so feel free to reach out to me directly as well. But I'm just starting off with the first one. So why did I make this film? So my story is actually that I learned about Bitcoin in 2013-14, and I made a first low-budget documentary called Bitcoin, the End of Money as We Know It. And that film was pretty successful on the internet. It then was licensed to 20 countries on TV channels, airlines, VOD platforms. And it kind of proved that there's an audience for this kind of niche topic. Back then, Bitcoin was really, really niche. 5 years later, this whole industry and the price of Bitcoin has grown by a factor of 100, right? So it was kind of time to do a follow-up film. But this time we did it for real. This time we went to Screen Australia and showed them the traction with the first film, and it was then easier to get funding from Screen Australia. I could also go to a German broadcaster, a big TV channel here, and convince them to say, to get on board to co-produce Cryptopia Film for the German television version. Those people that are building this industry, they used to be all united. They were fighting against the establishment. They were anti-bank, anti-government. And now you start to realize the larger this industry grows, the more infighting, the more they fight amongst themselves, or they have different ideological and philosophical debates amongst themselves rather than against the establishment, which I think is a very interesting dynamic which I try to capture in Cryptopia. What was the most difficult part of making the film? Well, I get this question quite a lot. So the short answer is funding is always problematic and it's always difficult. But I already explained to you this was a little bit easier because we had traction with the first film. So in actually making the film, one of the challenge was that how do I capture an industry and a movement and a technology that is evolving so fast? And you will notice we rarely talk about prices in this film because, from 1 week to the next, from 1 year to the next, the price of Bitcoin or Ethereum might change completely. So you will notice that we carefully selected projects rather than the prices of coins, or we talk about fundamental ideas rather than specific features or something like that. It's something that we learned from making our first film, Michael and myself, that it still is getting interested now, 5-6 years later. And so by making this new film, we knew we can't focus on a moment, we have to focus on the entire movement. What is the one thing you want audiences to think while watching the film? Well, this is a very tricky question. I mean, obviously, I'm a big fan of the technology, I'm a big fan of the space, but I think as a storyteller, your job is not to make the audience feel one way or the other. It's not my job to convince you that these guys are right and this guy is wrong, or that this project is legit and these guys are scammers. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to tell a story. I'm here to make it interesting, and I'm here to hopefully tell and show you an entire ecosystem of many, many interesting ideas. Some will cling to, the money part, the investment part, and some will be interested in building this new crypto Web 3.0, this decentralized new internet. So there's no right or wrong. There's just different aspects of this entire movement. So thank you so much again for showing the film. Thank you so much for watching the film, and please send your friends and colleagues to cryptopiafilm.com and support independent filmmakers directly from the source rather than going to iTunes or Amazon. We want to get rid of the middleman. That's the whole idea behind this movement, and get it at the source. So cryptopiafilm.com. Thank you so much, and have a good one. Cheers.